I'm sure you guys have heard of TSM FTX Snacky, the multiple-time FNCS champion from NA West. He is an incredible fragger. He's one of the best in the world, and I really think, if you guys have watched his gameplay, you know what I'm talking about. It's incredible, and I really think we need to figure out why he's so good. Because if we can figure out why he's so good and try to implement that into our own play, all of us can get better at fighting in general. So first thing, where does Snacky get all his value from? Why is he so good? In my personal opinion, it's what I call micro. His mechanics, his aim, his piece control, and his edit accuracy are all things that are going to be benefiting him. So let's talk about it, right? Let's watch some arena gameplay. This is him ranking up to champion division, and if you guys know, champion division, when you get closer to like 5-6k points, it starts to get really sweaty. Okay, these early fights, I don't think we should analyze that much. I don't think it's actually that important, because these are like open division players. They're pretty like body, so we're not going to analyze these, so we'll just skip the first couple fights. I think it starts to get interesting right about here. No, okay, well, he just hits him. You want to see the aim. Like, he hits really hard, man, right? So if you ever are questioning, okay, like, is aim important? I really think it is. If you have the opportunity to end the fight in one shot, you would take it, right? Instead of having to pump the guy 3 times because you keep hitting them for 40. Trust me, guys, aim is a very real thing. It's not RNG that your pellets are missing. It's your aim. If you ever watch Snacky, you'll never doubt that again, right? It's really, really important that you practice your aim in multiple methods, right? And maybe the aim video that I'm making is actually out by now. If it is, go watch it on my YouTube channel. If it's not there, then it'll be out in a couple of days. But I will teach you how to learn the aiming process in Fortnite, because in my personal opinion, it is a very important skill. It's an S tier skill in my opinion. If you learn it, you will get so much value from it, because Snacky clearly has a lot of value from it. Okay, so let's watch this fight. In my personal opinion, this is a really good fight to watch because it shows a simple concept. Why doesn't Snacky edit like this? Because if he does this, it's very difficult to shoot reset. Whenever you go for a pump shot, especially the first pump shot, you always want to shoot and then reset something, right? And if there's no reset, maybe you want to shoot build, right? If you look at the Tfue classic move, right, which is usually what happens when you're like, let's say you're up here on height and then the enemy is below you, right, down here. And if you want to do the Tfue classic, what are you doing, right? You're peeking vertically. You're going to jump forward, right? You're going to shoot downwards, so you're going to hit them, and then you're going to place a floor, right? So you're peeking them, shooting them in the small time window where you're exposed, and then immediately placing a floor, and that's known as a peek, right? And that's going to be very beneficial for you because they're not going to be able to trade back because of the fast floor that you placed, right? So you shoot building, right? So you either want to shoot build, you want to shoot reset, and in some niche scenarios, you actually want to shoot edit, right? And a very common scenario is being able to flip your cone, right? Let's say the enemy edits on you, and then you shoot them because they edit the wall, and then you flip your cone to block their next shot. And in any case, the general rule of thumb is after you shoot your pump, block the exposure. Don't let them shoot, right? Don't let them trade back, because if you hit them 100 and they hit you 100, doesn't really mean anything. You're just griefing each other. You want to hit them for damage and not take any in return, and that's where HP advantage comes from. And I've talked so much about HP advantage on my channel and the importance of it in any fight. So if you can prevent yourself from taking damage, we would love to do that. So let's talk about it, right? Why does he edit the wall this way? So he has a easy reset, because if you don't edit the wall in the way that he does, it's not easy to look down at a surface that's exposed, and it's very difficult to actually reset the wall, right? Because yes, it's possible to reset the wall if you do this peanut butter edit, but you have to pull out blueprint. It's a little bit buggy. It takes a little bit more delay, and chances are this guy's going to trade back if you do that edit. So he does the top row edit, shoots, and then resets by looking down here. Also, you can pull out blueprint to reset in general, so it's going to help, right? You see how he like flicks down to grab the wall, and then after he does have HP advantage, he does get hit, so be careful there, right? Like sometimes you will get traded on, but this guy actually jumps into Snacky's box, and then Snacky edits and shoots, right? Ends the fight quickly. This is another scenario I want to talk about in fights. This happens sometimes where, let's say you're 200 HP and then the enemy is 200 HP, right? This red is kind of hard to see, so bear with me. But in my opinion, if you guys hit each other for 100 each, right? Like, so they hit you 100, you hit them 100, right? You don't want to heal. In my personal opinion, healing is kind of scary in this situation, because what you're doing is you're griefing your loot, right? Because chances are if you're healing, they're gonna also heal, right? You're griefing your loot, and then they're griefing their loot. So if you end up killing them, you're getting less loot, so it's not good. Also, both of you guys healing is not actually ideal, because then you're just elongating the fight. It's actually in the interest of both players to end the fight quickly so that third parties don't come along, right? So if you're both 100 HP, I would say just follow the fundamentals of the game. Make sure you're continuing to fight properly and not taking free damage and, you know, exposing yourself unnecessarily, and continue to fight them, because it's still an even fight if you really think about it. chances are the person who gets the next shot wins, but it's still evenly matched, right? And if you heal, you're griefing his loot that you might get after the kill, and you're elongating the fight unnecessarily, right? So even though Snacky gets hit, he still wants to fight. That's the key, right? And I think that's important. You don't want to sort of heal in that situation, and I think it's very rare that you want to heal. Maybe if you're end game and you don't feel comfortable pushing into their tarp, that's a different story. But in a mid game fight, chances are I think you should just continue to fight, right? Unless you're literally 1 HP and you're scared of someone ARing from a distance, there are some scenarios where you should heal, usually in a stacked end game or a stacked, you know, fourth zone where a lot of third parties around. You kind of want to heal in that situation, but in general, don't be worried about continuing to push. A lot of good players continue to push, in my opinion, right? Like, this is an evenly matched fight, and this guy has a dual shotgun, if I'm not mistaken, or attack. So Snacky hits a headshot and ends the fight here. A lot of talking in that fight, in my personal opinion. There's not that many concepts, but I still think it's important to outline in the case that you guys don't know these things. So second thing that he does here, you see his piece control. He's placing a lot of builds. He's trying to make sure that he gets this opponent out of the way. 170, the aim really benefits him here, right? It's really key. So notice this: when he smacks on this wall, he doesn't immediately step into this box, because if you do, then yes, the opponent can come out and full box you, maybe place a ramp in your face. So that's a little bit scary. Also, it's not your floor, so you can't really edit down after the fact. But why is he not worried about this wall? You can literally look at the opponent. The opponent's not looking towards him here, right? The opponent's looking this way to place the back walls, and so I don't think the opponent's going to rush out. So he makes the wall weak and then steps into the box and then breaks it and then takes the wall. You see this? As he breaks the wall, he steps into the box, hits him 170, and it's really good. Why does he do a wide edit, no peek? Chances are the opponent's not looking at you, because you could previously see them looking away. All of these things are really important. I know it seems very difficult to do in fast-paced scenarios like this one. If you watch this in real time, you'll see that it's actually really difficult to do this fast, right? But this is what information processing is. I've talked about this in previous videos. You need to be able to process the information in front of you, all the information that you gather, including whether the opponent is not looking at you, right? If you can gather that information and make fast plays based on that, you'll actually end the fight faster, and that's important. Easy shot, really good. Notice that he has time to actually aim this, because I believe the opponent has the AUG out. This is something you can do. You can process this information, you can line up the shot, because you're not under threat, right? Snacky is really good at aiming, so he's just going to go for the shot right away. But in my personal opinion, you can pay attention to these things. Notice, right? Does he have an AUG out? AUG is really bad close range. You're not that worried, right? As the opponent pulls out an SMG or a pump, maybe then you can start being worried. In that specific case, though, with the AUG out, not that worried. Okay, Snacky's still full HP. I want you to notice something in this fight. As he places that code, he resets really quickly and then tries to hold in case the enemy goes for a shot. It's very close. But no one has HP advantage here, right? So you should play accordingly. 185, huge, crazy aim. Yeah, it's really well played by Snacky. He's full W keying. He's probably playing a little bit cockier because he knows these guys in arena aren't that good. So he's playing a little bit more confident than he usually would. But these shots are crazy, man. Like, he's hitting 100+ every single time without fail, right? That's what you want to do. More importantly, he's claiming a lot of pieces, right? Beautiful. Guys, this is the importance of micro. This is the importance of mechanics. If you're not practicing doing Raiders course, you're not going to feel this sort of improvement. You're not going to see yourself do these sorts of things. You can do these sorts of things if you practice daily diligently and actually practice with purpose, and make sure you're constantly doing it every day. I really think that will help you, right? And I think it's helped me a little bit, right? And I'm making my way towards it, and I think you can do the same thing, right? I really think focusing on mechanics is a good thing, right? It's not something that you should ignore, because if you are good at mechanics, it just improves your ability to execute better. He did the same thing here. You'll see the fact that he actually edited the wall top rail so that he has a reset in this bottom corner. So that's really good. Very basic concept, but a very fundamental one, right? You'll see pro players doing this all the time, which is the fact that they shoot reset, they shoot build, they shoot edit. They always block the shot that's incoming after they edit and shoot, right? It's a really good edit, really good peek. I think that is a good thing to do.
Okay.
He also waited a long time for the HP of the wall to regen to a healthy amount so that the enemy can't pump it, right? I'm pretty sure the enemy can pump this, but he, like, Snacky just goes really far. No, the wall's pretty healthy. It's all good. So here you have a spray out. Ultimately, I really think you can go for the spray out, but I think the difficulty of doing that is that as you peek out to the left to shoot this floor out, because if he shoots that floor out, the whole thing falls. I think that's a better opportunity, but I think Snacky's just going for the clip. I'm not gonna lie. Beautiful right hand peek on the window. Full box. Why does he just 50-50? HP advantage. He's winning. He's hard winning. Any fight is good fight, right? When you're up that much HP, you need to jump in. And it's a basic concept, but an important one. People fail to realize, like, you don't want to continue peeking the whole fight. It's not efficient. On paper, it sounds good, right? But peeking is slow. It takes time to set up, right? And the problem with taking time when the opponent is low is chances are you're going to give them time to heal, and you don't want that. Or at least give them time to set up 3 boxes. You'll see how quickly Snacky kills all these players because of his spectacular aim. He's hitting 150s at least every single time. Good ADS to a 126. Really, really good. Diagonal box fighting here. Tries to drop him down. Oh, he misses that. Nice. Perfect. Good. I think he hears another player on the outside here. He's so good at looking at the exact spot that you need to and these hard angles. It's really difficult to place this wall. You know what I mean? But the way you place it is you look down in the bottom right and he grabs it, right? And he somehow hits max there as well. It's so crazy to me. I don't understand, but it is really, really beneficial to have aim like that. No wonder, right? You're just going to finish fights so quickly if you constantly hit max. Trades him for 22. Pumps the wall to make it one hit so that he can pickaxe it once. Jump peeks it. You'll notice it's very difficult to actually see Snacky here from the enemy perspective. Pump, one pickaxe, jump peek, shoots him. Makes him difficult to like actually hit as well. He's a moving target, right? But more importantly, it's a good peek. SMG's right after. After you pump and get a lot of damage and don't take damage in return, don't wait for your next pump shot. Just SMG in. I think it's much faster. This is something that Bugha started doing really early on, right after World Cup. And I think it's a really, really good tactic. Good pre-fire. Yeah, that's good. The benefit of going for that pre-fire, by the way, is the fact that if they don't edit, you've pumped the floor, right? So let's go back and talk about this. This is a good, you know, fast-paced thing to do, because in my personal opinion, if you just pump the floor and the enemy never edits, it's still beneficial, because now this 101 HP floor goes down to below 75, which means it's one pickaxeable, and now you're putting more and more pressure on your opponent by going faster, right? So it's a good pre-fire to go regardless, right? It's just a good thing to do. Get in the habit of pumping the floor, because sometimes you'll grab walls and pieces in general because they're not expecting it to be taken that quickly. Really, really good piece. And in general, the movement is more important than anything else, right? Shoots, resets. You can also pay attention to the opponent and their gun, right? Meaning you know how much time you have, right? Right here, you know you have extra time because the blueprint's out, right? So you can take your time if you need to, and as you see them, like, it's kind of like the over the shoulder shotgun pullout, right? You'll see it right here. If I can play it and show you, you see that very split second. I'm going to show you again, right? Happens with a little really fast pace. You see it pull out. He's still not able to shoot at this point, right? But before the opponent is actually able to shoot, Snacky just resets, and then it's good from there, right? He edits right after the enemy pumps the wall. So this is really, really good by Snacky. Makes a wide edit. Why? Because he doesn't want the opponent to actually take the wall, but more importantly, he just wants to end the fight. You hit him so hard, you're not going to lose this in any scenario, in my personal opinion, right? You're just going to win in every case if you just 50-50. Good. Good floor. That was crazy. Lines up the crosshair placement and hits the shot. Man, his aim is really spectacular. It's really, really good. Blocks off third party, I'm assuming. Tries to take all the walls around the guy who I think this is a... Wow. Okay. Alright, Snacky. Okay, that was pretty cool. I actually didn't even know you could do this. That's a really cool way to get up. You like insta tap the Spider-Man. You can get up really high. 175. How does he know where to crosshair place? You know after this piece that this guy's flying towards the corner. So if you get this wall, you know he's hitting this corner. So all you need to do is crosshair place in the head level area of this corner, and this guy will fall into you, right? That's what he does. He literally crosshair plays perfectly in the corner, headshot level, and he's able to hit the shot. Something to notice about anyone jumping is that they're committed to their flight path, right? Like, they can't move midair. It's really difficult to. After someone jumps, it's really, really easy to actually line up your shot. So he looks into that corner before the opponent's even there and then shoots him, and it's really, really nice, and it's really easy to actually hit the shot. That's why you see so many clips of people hitting piece control clips where the guy's jumping, and it's really, really simple to actually hit your shot. If you line up the proper crosshair placement, it's not difficult to actually hit. So he's setting up the 1v1 for fun. Let's see what happens here. Little PG. He's controlling the side jump. 175. Dude, he just hits max every single time. I think his click timing is so good. And then the level, the vertical level at where he aims his crosshair is really good. And if you'll notice, as he's on a ramp, he moves his crosshair diagonally too. He lines it up perfectly. He knows he's going to move to the right, and then he puts his crosshair here. Why? Because as he moves to the right, this crosshair is slowly going to line up. You'll see it in slow motion if I can play it. I would love to, actually, so you guys can see. This is really, really micro detail, but I think it's important because this is how you hit your shots. Watch this right here. Look where he's looking. He doesn't move his crosshair here. Why would he do that? That's kind of hard to line up. You know what I mean? You want to combine your crosshair placement with your movement. He looks here, moves to the right, and then this is going to line up perfectly. Because as you move to the right, the crosshair, you don't have to move your mouse at this point. The crosshair is going to line up, and all you have to do is just click, and then you win. Right? It sounds a lot simpler than it is in game. Obviously, this is difficult to execute, but if you want a easier way to hit your shots, this is what you do. You need good crosshair placement. You see how minimal he's moving his crosshair. That's really, really good aim. Right? He sets it up in such a way so that his movement's going to compensate and not his crosshair. And this is actually very popular in a game like Valorant, where you pre-aim corners and then you move into the corner, but you look at a predetermined spot so that as you're moving, your crosshair also moves into the correct spot. Like, you don't look directly where you're supposed to be shooting. You look to the left or right of it, and your movement is going to set it up. Does that make sense? So I would love for you guys to actually understand this. So if you guys don't get that, please comment below and ask me, and I will further explain this. But for now, we're going to move on. Let's talk about the other fights. There are going to be more and more challenging fights in the second half of this video. So we're going to learn a lot more advanced stuff, hopefully, because of the fact that he's consistent with his edits and his aim, right? The fact that you'll never miss, whether it's an edit or a shot, is really good, right? That's really, really good. In my personal opinion, I think that's so valuable in a fight, is to never miss a shot. That was no way he hits 103 there. Hard left hand too. Like he actually hits that shot. That's crazy. And he's not even scared of the edit because he notices. I don't know. He's just trading super fast, dude. He's just crazy. He's so fast, man. It's so mind-blowing that he's this good. Good crosshair placement. You'll see the same movement. He knows he's gonna move to the right? So then where's his crosshair gonna be? It's gonna be here. He's gonna move up to the right, but in general, you kind of have to flick a little bit here. The guy's jumping, so he will move his crosshair a little bit. Right? A lot of people like doing like kind of like looking everywhere. Just like put your crosshair in one spot and then use this concept, where you can sort of move into it, or if you need to make one adjustment, it's better to just make one smooth adjustment instead of going like this, right? Like sit your crosshair somewhere close to the target, and then figure out where you need to move on the axis, and then that's good, right? On a controller, this is actually easy, because in a joystick, I think it's much easier to just hold it in one direction. And honestly, same with the mouse. Oh, he hits such good shots. His click timing is very, very good. He sort of like lets his crosshair sit, and then he just like, oh my, no way, no. He's very good with the double shotty as well. Yes, it's bad, but I do believe this. Like, you can learn it. You can get good at it, because I do think it's important to at least have it to like. I do think it's a. Oh no, he's dead. Okay, he got bailed there. The mistake comes in right here, right? Because he misses his shots. And that's a really ambitious edit to go for. In my personal opinion, that's not the edit. You need to do double. You need to do 2 tiles or 3 tiles or something like that. Because if one single tile edit is really unlikely to actually catch him, the only way is if he never moves. Of course, then he's going to be chilling, right? But I think you should edit 2 or 3, your choice. But I think that's going to be better. And in general, I really think that this is a little bit too committed. Maybe go for an initial shot if you don't want to go for this risk. But it's Snacky, you know what I mean? He's so confident in his aim that he's like, he does this a lot and he gets away with it. 89. Okay, now you just piece control because you have a huge HP advantage. So you just need to fight. You don't need to jump in because you'll notice his HP is not perfect. He's 160 and he hit this guy 80. So it's 160 versus 120. You'll notice that gap is not actually that big. So you don't want to full jump in. Maybe piece him. Go for a peek. Something like this, right? And I think that's much better alternative in this specific scenario. Just hit for 30 from the side. Dude, honestly, like, it's so crazy that he knows where the guy's gonna be. He's already looking to the left. I think he quickly saw this guy. He processed that so quickly. And then instead of looking, like tracking him, he just looks all the way over to the left and lets the bunny or the person walk into his crosshair. You know what I mean? I think that's how he crosshair places really well. He like doesn't look at the opponent. He looks where he's going to be when he's about to shoot. Right? Good at it. You could have got ramped off there, but there's always counterplay because you're on the floor. So I'm not too worried about that. That's good. I wonder if he's trying to, so there is a thing in the game where if you edit really often, sometimes you can catch the build from getting broken. Like it can cancel the damage. I'm pretty sure that's still in the game. So I wonder if he's editing a lot by doing that. Like that's what he's going for. Probably not. Like I don't know. Just editing fast to be flashy. Insane code edit. Really good. You'll see that like he has a plan B and a plan C, right? So if the enemy accidentally gets in here, the enemy pumps the weak wall and gets in not only through this wall right here, right? Not only through that wall, but this wall too. So the enemy's in. And so plan B is screwed. This was plan B. Now he's on plan C, which is edit the cone. But he's so quick to it. So if I show you back in full speed, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of crazy. I think it's super fast. And this is what I mean by information processing, right? You're able to process what's going on, and being able to react to it quickly is key, especially in a situation like this where someone's jumping in your box, because he actually blocks a full shot. He blocks a completely full shot. Pumps the wall. Might as well pump something before you swap. I think it's much more efficient if you were to do that, because there's no downtime, right? If you already have your pump out and you're looking, pump before you swap. There's no delay. You're getting more damage for literally free. The alternative is to just swap to your SMG. I don't think that's like that efficient, right? Especially if you still have 5 bullets in your pump, just like pump it once, and you'll be able to like get a lot of damage down on the wall. So usually that'll make it one pickaxeable if you're fast to react, right? If the wall just got placed, if you pump pickaxe, you can even do it with metal. It'll be really quick. Okay, he's going for height. I think there's multiple people in this build fight, so he goes for height. No, there's just one. Oh yeah, there's multiple. So yeah, this is a pretty simple concept. If there's multiple people, you want to go up to height and then work your way down. Usually that's the case. And if someone boxes up, you'll notice him looking at the other player. I wonder why he sits on the ramp like this. I think it's faster. If you do diagonal box fighting, it takes a lot of, like, the con is that it takes a long time to set up, right? So he just stands up against the wall. It probably has something to do with the zero ping as well. So like, even though the guy, like, I don't think he's gonna take the wall. Like, I think that's the benefit. Like he knows that, right? Because he's such low ping. Snacky's a very low ping player. Good at it. Yeah, and then he has right hand there, so you should just continue. This is good. One thing I want to point out, look at his instinct after he gets this kill. He's in someone else's box, right? His instinct is to break out. Obviously this is his wall, and we know that from watching the video back at a slow speed and watching it back multiple times. But his instinct after getting a kill, after jumping in, is to break out immediately. You don't loot, you don't do anything else. Make a box that's yours, then look back, loot, because then you have exits, because that third party that we saw earlier is probably going to come along, and if you don't own edits, you're not, you know, giving yourself options to get out or make plays. This is good. He actually tried to grab the wall before the enemy places it, and then this is a good right hand. Keep ahead. We've watched this already. This is really good. So what I'm learning, it's actually pretty simple, by the way. In my personal opinion, having the ability to consistently not miss edits and consistently not miss shots, as simple as that sounds, much easier said than done, is very important. Hitting hard shots, man, because this is key in my personal opinion. This is what gives you value. He's faster pressuring. Got some juice spray. Grabs the wall there. Goes around counterclockwise to look for that right hand. Good cone at it. That was kind of crazy. Like, how did he know the guy was gonna come out at that point? That's a little weird. I guess he's like watching him. I think his eyes are on him, right? And so if the eyes are on the opponent, you can see him running forward. Like, it's so subtle, but like he flips it. I guess he reacts to it, maybe. I don't even know, man. Maybe he preemptively does it. He's like blocking the shot. That's what he's going for. He reloads 3 shells. You'll notice throughout the fight, this is what I made a video on this long time ago about reloading shells in between the fight. Don't reload it at the end, because chances are if you never reload in between the fight, you'll eventually be out of shotgun shells, and then that is the point where it's gonna be very difficult for you to stop them from healing, because you're not gonna push with 0 pellets, right? Or 0 bullets or shells or whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be very difficult. So this is a little bit too deep in my personal opinion. Also, he's very zero paying. Like, he assumes he's gonna grab this wall when he shotgun pumps it, right? This is actually a weak wall in front of him because of the fact that the enemy edited it and then reset the wall right behind him. And so the idea is the shotgun is gonna kill the wall, so you're gonna be able to break it. The problem is Snacky assumes he's gonna get it first try, and he doesn't. So now it's screwed. Now it's tough, right? So that was a mistake. He almost kills him with insane aim. That's so crazy that he still hits 126 with a panic shot right there. He gets pieced up and still hits 126. It's really, really good aim. Solid. He still dies, but I still think that's a really, really good testament to having good mechanics in both aim and editing, right? It's really, really important that you become consistent and have reliable mechanics, because remember, it's not about being fast. Fast is a side benefit. What's most important in any mechanic is being accurate, because if you need to hit a shot and you miss, that's bad, right? If you need to hit an edit and you miss, you're dead, right? But it doesn't necessarily matter how fast you do it. Obviously, faster the better, but it's very important that you're accurate first, then you're fast, because it's important that you don't miss the edit altogether. Usually missing the edit is what gets you killed, not doing it slow. People like Saf back in the day succeeded still, even though their mechanics wasn't crazy, wasn't flashy. It was very, very good mechanics still. Believe it or not, people like Saf and Tayson have good mechanics. They're very, very strong in their mechanical ability because they're very accurate and they're very, very reliable in their edits and their aim. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys understand the importance of building your aim and building your edit skills, because this is the benefit that you get. You get to play like Snacky because you're so talented at these things and you're so accurate in everything you do, and the value that you get from hitting hard pumps in every single case is ridiculous, especially in a duo setting, because that's going to create openings everywhere, right? Because if you hit someone for 150 at the beginning of the fight, now you have the initiative in the fight, in the duo fight, and you're going to be doing really, really well in general. So practice those things. Don't overlook them. They're not something that you just ignore and then just only focus on game sense. Game sense is important, but it's also important to make sure you're mechanically ready for any tournament in terms of aim and editing. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.